live. All right, this is it. Game week 4, Dari. The bounce back.
Dari, my brother,
Episode of
what's good?
the episode of Omar is pretty good. Um, this is the bounce back, and more as I thought about it, I was just thinking like there was not much that we did wrong or anybody did wrong. It's just this is the way that we can't control KDB, we can't control Obama Young. Some people had Obama Young captain Salah, so we can't control these variables. What are your thoughts going into it, man?
I feel okay. As I said, I fell from the 800,000s to the 900,000s, but I'm still in the top 1 million. I hope to improve this week, but if I don't, I'm not gonna panic. Like we discussed previously, I still have my wild card, so I'm taking things level-headed. We have a 2 week break coming up after this game week where I plan to really sit and dive into numbers. I'm not really a numbers guy per se, but I'm gonna really dive into the numbers over the upcoming time off for the international break and consider using my wild card. That will also depend on what happens this game week, but I'm gonna consider my wild card guys I'm planning to target in the
Right.
upcoming weeks. So I think tonight is actually a good time for us to sit and discuss the upcoming game weeks, which teams we should target, and those who have a good schedule. I don't know if you have anyone in particular in mind.
Yeah, well, in this episode, I think this episode will go into game week 4, talk about some fixtures, talk about some upcoming schedules, and just pick some players that, must haves, some players who are under the radar, and some players for our suicide pick. So this episode, we have all of that coming up. And for right now, I just feel like we'll just jump into some teams. And for me, I want to talk about one team in particular. I think Aston Villa, which is not the household name team.
Well,
I'm just
all right, go ahead.
quickly,
Let me check their schedule. Go ahead.
they play Liverpool next, but I watch how solid they are defensively. And teams playing against Liverpool, I think it's same against Aston Villa. I think need to be a little bit cautious. So when you're picking a team, so I know a lot of people probably want to captain Salah, captain Imani, but they look solid defensively. And I've seen that a change in, Martinez is in goal. So I think teams might find it a little bit hard to score. I mean, I could be shooting myself in the foot right now before the game week, but that's what I saw so far. So that's one thing I saw. I don't know if you saw anything defensively, because last year they
Well,
struggled.
Villa have improved. They got your guy Matty Cash. They
Yeah.
got Martinez.
And I like that
Um,
Mings is playing good. Tyron Mings is
yeah,
playing ball.
he's not a defender, but Ross Barkley came in this week.
What do you think?
Villa,
What
yeah,
do you
no, but Villa is they're definitely looking more solid as you said, but they're not a team that I'm really looking at players to get in. But I do understand where you're coming from. Based on what you said, I would more consider not captaining Salah this week.
Right.
But I'm not necessarily going to be looking at Villa players right now. But yes,
Exactly.
I do think that they would affect my captain choice. Salah is not really at the. I'm not 100% on my captain yet, but Salah is not really at the top of my rankings right now for this week captain.
Right. Yeah. So what teams you look at right now that you want to move, having an eye on ship that has a good schedule, has players in form?
Wolves is one.
In form?
Wolves is. They lost against West Ham, but I'm not gonna make one game change my mind on Wolves. They're a solid team. They're making good transfers. They got Semedo in. They might do some more before the window closes. I heard about Douglas Costa rumor. Right now you can see behind me we are in Juventus Stadium, so Douglas Costa
Douglas.
Yeah, so Wolves.
Douglas would be nice in Premier League, boy.
I would look at yeah, he would. I would look at a Wolves defender. Not this game week, but in the upcoming schedule. Wolves have some good games coming. Jimenez, we discuss and we'll discuss later on. Jimenez will play a big part in this episode. So I look at one or two Wolves players. Semedo was 5.5. I was wishing he was at 5.0. But
I know, right?
but I would still look at a Wolves defender. Another team, Southampton. Good schedule. Quick games coming up. They have West Brom, Everton, Villa, Newcastle in the next 5. So West Brom we already know about, and Newcastle, they're not looking too solid. They had a good start, but they're not looking too solid right now. So we have Ings, Bertrand, Walker Peters. So all of these guys I would look at especially if I use my wild card. So to get some cheap guys in that would
You're
enable
looking
me
for
to have
defenders with points. You're
the
trying to get
KDBs and
points.
stuff. Yeah, I want to get some cheap guys who would make points, but also enable me to have the KDBs and the Sterlings and Fernandes on my team. So,
What I've seen as well too is no matter. I think we just blow that whole FDR game index out of proportion because that's probably just based off club names and how many players we have in the club. Because off of the schedule so far, we saw teams conceding like Man City conceded 5 goals, right? So if you're going off of that gauge, it's just off. To me, like I said, I think playing a defender for a clean sheet right now is something that, having a 6 or a 5.5 defender like a Cody, kind of, Cody in there or Bowley, it's just kind of tough because they're not guaranteed a clean sheet anymore. They just got 4.
Yeah, and I would never look at Cody to begin with, but I would look at the wing backs. So
right.
if Vinagre is a short of game time, or Semedo's a little expensive, but I would look at him still if he's doing well. Saiz goes up for the corners. Saiz could score some goals.
He's aggressive too, so I like Saiz because
they had that new guy Marcal. I don't know how to pronounce his name, Marcel Marcal, but he Portuguese, was injured. But when he comes back, I'm gonna be looking at him.
Yeah. So that'll be a doubt for the international break. That might be something to look at to see if he plays.
Yeah, so that's what I said. I'm as we discussed when Omar was here, I am taking all the evidence from the first 4 game weeks and really diving into it over the break, because I didn't want to do like some of you guys did where we had 1 week of information or 2 weeks of information, right, and then I use my wild card. I want to really assess everything that's happening and then use my wild card. So it's going to all depend too on how things go this weekend. I'm not going to really have the KDBs and those guys on my team. So if they do really well this week, it might force me to move. But if they don't do well and my team does well, I move up the rankings, I might hold off for another week with my wild card. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. 100%. Team in form, Everton is in form. They play Brighton. But as we said and we talked about before, Brighton looks solid defensively. Basuma there, is Basuma back? I don't think he from the red card.
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if he's back.
But they look solid defensively. They're moving the ball. So I don't think that Everton game is going to be a sure one. But I have 2 Everton players in my team. 3 Everton players actually in my team. I have Pickford, I have James, and I have Calvert-Lewin, who I had in early. So
one thing I want to say, if we're moving away from just looking at the next 3 or 4 or 5 game weeks and we're just looking at this game week 4 in particular, for me, there are a lot of toss-ups this weekend. I can think off the top of my head without even looking at my screen. I can think of Man United Spurs as a toss-up.
Right.
Chelsea Crystal Palace, to me, is a toss-up. Like a lot of people might say that's a sure win for Chelsea, but that game is a toss-up because Crystal Palace have started well. The Everton Brighton, like I said, is a toss-up. So a lot of these games this weekend, we can't pick a clear winner. We can't pick a clear winner ahead of time and say this team is better and people are gonna win. So it's a very tricky. It's a very tricky game week.
But in terms of getting points and where goals will come from, I could see shootout in the 9th. Well, time difference in the third game. The third game, Manchester City versus Leeds, and that one, I can't see any sort of defensive stand. I could see 6-7 goals in that game.
Remember my bold prediction last week that the Leeds game wouldn't have much goals. So
so this
that was last week.
Maybe that might be your repeat bold prediction. Man City Leeds.
I'll surprise you with my bold prediction. I'll surprise you.
But yeah, that game, I have KDB in my team, and looking, to see who else I could bring in, because from what I've seen from Leeds, they can't keep that clean sheet and they can't keep goals out, like that, especially a team like Man City. But as you say, Man City's back off of a 5-2 defeat in the league. They won past that, but, that 5-2 defeat.
Yeah, they look good in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, they bounced back. So hopefully I was hoping that game would have been the next Premier League game would have been back to back, But as you say, as it goes, I think they would find their footing and And Raheem Sterling. What do you think of Sterling in that Leeds game? A
Um,
potential captain pick.
yes, I have something to say about Sterling a little later on, so I don't want to go too deep
So much suspense, Dari. So much
in depth.
suspense. I'll
But
just move
yeah,
on.
all right, just move on. I'll discuss them later on.
All right. And that team that beat City, Leicester,
Leicester.
plays the team that beat Wolves, West Ham. Now, West Ham is known not to be the best, defensively, but they were able to, you know, get the job done against Wolves.
Well,
What do you think in that that West Ham game? Where do you think you could,
I would,
if
I would.
you're playing, get points?
I'm not a betting person, but I would bet on Leicester because I just don't believe that West Ham is a team that has displayed any sort of consistency under Moyes. So they could look good this week. Next week they can be horrible. They can win 4-0 like they did, and then they could come and lose 4-0. West Ham, they're not consistent. So I would bet on players like Vardy, Harvey Barnes. I might even bet on a clean sheet.
The rare clean sheet in
Yeah.
2021.
I mean, I have Justin in my team from Leicester. I would.
That was a good
start
pick,
him
by
this
the
week.
way.
Yeah.
That was a good pick, and I'm impressed that you had him in there from the start.
Well, I wish I had Castagne, but yeah. But I would start my Leicester defenders against West Ham this week.
No
Yeah,
fear of goals.
that's not one of the games I think is necessarily a toss-up.
Right.
I think Leicester should be favored in there. Haven't checked the odds, but I think Leicester should be favored in that one.
Right. And for all the I know the Mikel Antonio owners last week, for him not to get anything, from that game of 4 goals.
Yeah.
I think that just summarizes the start to this FPL season. Right? It just summarizes. And I
He
know
looks good though. He looks good, and he throughout the 38 games of this season, he will be an option in that price range.
Right.
He will have his time where he goes 4 weeks straight scoring.
I think this is the week that he scores 4. Is every how many weeks? Yeah, this week he's entitled to 4. So 4 against Leicester. So we'll see how that goes. And I think that's it there. I mean, we kind of touched on each team. Arsenal plays Sheffield. Sheffield has yet to get off the mark. And Arsenal, I mean, look good defensively, but the way that things are going, Sheffield might score 4. Probably not, but
let's get into our must-haves, and I will address some of these things that you have mentioned.
Must-haves for game week 4.
And I would like to begin, ladies and gentlemen.
In defense.
Defense, I would go. You just spoke about Arsenal, and I will go to Arsenal defender this week, Hector Bellerin. No, preseason there was some rumor he might go to PSG. I think he is going to be staying there at Arsenal. He's looked good so far. He's getting forward. Aubameyang hasn't hit the ground running like we hope, but this could be a week where Bellerin gets down that right wing, puts some balls in, and Aubameyang comes in at the last post.
Overhit ball, and then Aubameyang there.
Sheffield doesn't offer much going forward, so there should be a good chance of an Arsenal clean sheet. And if Bellerin attacks, I think he could get some assist points as well. So Bellerin would be my must-have defender of this week.
Nice. And my must-have defender for game week 4 is Ben Chilwell. I saw some clips from the games. He looks fit. And I think, Chelsea, after these early few weeks, might look to solidify things against Crystal Palace. The Crystal Palace did start good, but Chelsea, I think adding Chilwell to the team, maybe Mendy in goal. Not sure.
It's possible.
I'm really not sure. He played this week, right? He played between weeks. Yeah. So,
and Chilwell was also called up to the England squad today. I was kind of surprised by that. I thought Southgate would give him a little more time. Yeah. But obviously he is the starting England left back, so he brought him right back in. I like the pick, but I'm not in love with the pick. Crystal Palace have been looking good so far, and we still yet to be convinced fully by the Chelsea back 4. I don't think there's like a definite 4 yet. Right. Lampard hasn't, Thiago Silva played 1 game and he came off. Rich James has been continuous at the right back, but then in the middle we have had Zuma, Christensen.
Right.
Chilwell is now coming back, so there's no continuity. Those guys haven't really played with each other yet, so Crystal Palace could still get at them before they build that solidity. So I like the pick, but I'm not in love with it.
Right. All right.
What
I
about
was
your midfield?
my midfield. This guy, he's back. He's fit. You know, I was reading as much as I could. I think he's going to start. James Maddison, Leicester. He's well priced, and right now he's, you know, the minutes that he came on the Premier League just looked good. He looks like he looked better than last year actually. He looks great. He's on the set pieces, and like you said, I feel like that Leicester West Ham game would have goals. You know, West Ham push up, they're not good on the counter attack, and Madison is at the heart of a lot. So even if he doesn't start, comes on 60th minute, which I think he's going to start from reading reports.
Yeah.
James Madison is my pick. It's a bit of a gamble because he's not sure to start yet, but I think he is the sure pick for me in midfield.
So I know you're surprising me today. That's another surprise, but I'm gonna go with somebody I think is
Shorter, sir.
Sure. And you mentioned this guy earlier, and I didn't want to go too much into detail. Now I will. Raheem Sterling would be my must-have midfielder this week, because a lot of guys are out there are gonna say Kevin De Bruyne is the must-have midfielder in the entire FPL game, not just in this week. The entire game, every week, guys would say Kevin De Bruyne. And I just think Sterling is being overlooked, especially with Jesus and Aguero out. He's playing up top. He's going right. He's going left. He's drifting all around. He's getting little 1-2s with Mahrez, with De Bruyne. He is always in the action. He's somebody. He's so quick too. He can always be fouled for penalties. So he can always get it. He may not take the penalty, but he can get the assist. And he's just so active, and Guardiola always rates his stamina, and he says he's somebody that doesn't need to be rotated and rested. Guardiola says his recovery powers are strong. I read those quotes. So I'm not even worried that because he played in the Carabao Cup, I think he played 90 minutes, I'm not worried about him being on the bench this week, because I was initially considering Phil Foden for this pick because he did not play in the Cup. But then I was like, Pep is so strong about the recovery powers of Sterling and the fact that he's off those 2 goals. And as you said, the game against Leeds could have a lot of goals, because this week I'm not going to make a bold prediction that the Leeds game is going to have a low amount of goals. I'm expecting goals in this one. Right. City will want to bounce back in the league to reapply the pressure after that Leicester defeat. And I'm going to back Sterling as a must-have midfielder this week. So anybody out there listening, and especially if you're using your wildcard and you want to bring him in, because I know his ownership is low, I would take the chance, especially as earlier on in the pod we mentioned Salah playing Villa, who looking stronger defensively. So even though you may have De Bruyne in your team, you have Salah in your team, I would not mind switching from Salah to Sterling this week and have the 2 City men, because that could be a very high scoring game.
Yeah, it could be a 6-7 because you know, like Leicester pushes up with their wing backs, and as you said, like that's his position that Sterling is in, and he could probably find himself in if they push up. So I haven't seen anything from Leeds to say that defensively they could hold City out. So we'll see. That's a good pick, yeah.
Yeah. So
let's move on to forward. Who you thinking is a must-have forward?
A must-have forward this week.
Jordan, are you?
No, sir. I am going to say the Mexican sensation Raul Jimenez. Very nicely priced. He's not as expensive as the Vardis and Kanes and those guys. One rule I plan to choose this upcoming season: go for the guys who playing against Fulham, the guys playing against West Brom. These guys are just allowing goals. Right. And Jimenez against that Fulham defense, I think Fulham lost in the cup today to a team in like League One, was it?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, they go for these guys playing Fulham. I'm not gonna go in a long speech on this one like I did for Sterling. I just think Jimenez home to Fulham, is a must-have, and you should even consider captain him. And yeah, if you're brave, triple captain him. Like
I saw the a guy who triple captain Jimenez last week. That
Uh,
one I put it in our WhatsApp group. It was
he
horrible.
he chose the wrong week to do that.
Yeah.
But this is a week I'm not going to be mad at somebody triple captain and Jimenez.
What on that note, just quick, what you think of Podence is in shorter starts or
Yeah, I don't think he's sure.
yeah, but what are your thoughts quickly on any other players from Wolves in that against Fulham attack, as you said, in midfield
So
or strike? Yeah,
they have I believe if Podence doesn't play,
Neves,
they would have Neto. Neto should be up there playing probably off of Jimenez because Jota is gone now.
right?
So
Yeah.
Neto would be a good one.
Maybe
Neves, I'm not
Neves.
too. Nah, Neves is more a set piece guy. I'm not as high on him, but I would also consider the wing backs.
All right,
Semedo if Vinagre is gonna start, but everything is gonna go to him and as in the middle there.
right.
This guy is excellent heading the ball. Probably who would I say other than maybe Cristiano Ronaldo, Lewandowski. I would consider him and as one of the best guys in the air. Well, Calvert-Lewin is also doing very well in the air right now. But Jimenez, he would be in the top 5 of the guys in the air.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. So I
So
think
him.
he could dominate the Fulham defense. So
Yeah,
that's a must.
I could consider him a move for me because I have that Martial on my books,
Okay.
which it's just sweeting to see what I'm gonna do. But no, I love the pick. Definitely, he's on my radar, and he's definitely a captain. So yeah, you call two guys who could probably captain and be a differential too. So
Yeah.
because I don't think a lot of people would consider captaining Jimenez and captaining Raheem with KDB on the team. But my pick is Danny Ings playing against West Brom. West Brom's defense is not good. They allowed from a 3-0 lead to a 3-3 comeback. They are 2s and 3s in the back on the counter attack. You know that Danny Ings just finds himself in between. He's a smart striker, and against a not so smart, I can't think of any of the two center backs for West Brom. I can't call Kieran Gibbs because he would kill me.
Yeah.
But I can't think of any of these center backs who would.
I can't either, and I wasn't convinced by the West Brom goalkeeper so far either.
Right, and yeah, just must have at a lower price than Jimenez.
No, they're about the same price. They're about.
I think
Jimenez is
Ings had dropped before.
Oh, okay, yeah, because Jimenez is 8.6.
Right, yeah. I think Ings had dropped 1 week.
Ings is 8.4. They're around the same.
Right, yeah,
8.6,
yeah.
8.4.
Right, yeah. I think that 1 week Ings had dropped. Everybody just dropped him because he scored that 1 week. So. But let's just say out of 5 games, you're sure to get, like, that's how I look at it. Out of 5 games, how much goals I'll get from him. Danny Ings is a guy, he would get that and you could keep him for the next week. So Danny Ings is my must-have for this week against West Brom. I could see 2 goals.
I can't go against that, man.
Captain?
I can't go against him. You should. If you bring in a man, you should.
All right, cool. Considered. Put in a C star. All right, let's go for our under the radar picks, under 4% ownership, under 5% ownership. Players for this week under 5% ownership. You go first.
My pick is another Leicester player after you picked Maddison, another guy in the Leicester midfield. It's been very influential in the absence of Maddison, and I hope
Mendy.
He could yeah, I hope he could keep up
his
influence
last week. Come on.
I think he could keep up his influence with Maddison back in the team, and that would be Harvey Barnes.
Right.
Yeah, he's looking good cutting in off that.
What's his price?
I want to say 7. You could check it for me. I want to say 7.
Let me go do the for the listeners
Harvey
out
Barnes. There was a game 2 games ago where he had a goal and assist. I think he could do the same.
Yeah, he's a 7, 18 points. Yeah. He had a 13 goal haul against Burnley. And he played 90 minutes throughout. Last year he was kind of coming into the ranks and he didn't really play. Every game was not sure pick for him or sure start, but the first 3 games he's starting, so I guess that's good, So definitely for him.
Yeah, that's a guy like would be a good differential in anybody's team right now. If you can't have Vardy, but you still want some Leicester points, Harvey Barnes is a good entry into the team.
At 7, and that's pretty good. My under the radar pick this week is Riyad Mahrez. He is at 3.9% ownership currently, and his price didn't change. He had a goal and an assist. I think, people still off of, is the City roulette game. But he's just always in a 6-goal game. He could come out tomorrow. He could come out on Saturday with a goal and 2 assists. He's definitely probably gonna get fouled for penalty for sure. I could even put like that's a bet. I'll probably put like $5 that he's gonna be fouled on a penalty from one of these Leeds centre backs. The centre backs at Leeds are horrendous. Somebody who will centre back player.
They bought a new guy though. They bought a new guy this week.
Somebody who will centre back play. Doubt he's gonna come in before the break, but yeah, Riyad Mahrez, my under the radar pick.
That's a good under the radar pick. Because if you don't have KDB, you don't have Sterling. That's a good way to get into that Man City team.
It's 8.5.
Yeah.
So less than Bruno, and you could probably have more returns than Bruno this week.
Great way to get into that team, man. Good pick.
Yeah. Some bold predictions.
You go first this time.
All right. One bold prediction that I'm considering right now, and to say this where it could be recorded, where it's recorded, and it could be played back again over and over. All right. Aston Villa only concedes 1 goal against Liverpool.
Every time I think you can't get bolder, you go and bold, man. You go and bold.
1 goal they concede this week.
I must say you've been.
I think they're gonna have a. I've seen Brighton have a good game against Chelsea and lose, and like I keep messaging in the WhatsApp group, the football gods are against them. Probably this is going to happen. I think Aston Villa is going to have a great game against Liverpool, the marquee game, and they look solid defensively. I feel like 1 goal, Liverpool.
That's bold. I'm not gonna deny your bold picks have been very bold. I'm gonna try to match that, although I don't think I can. But so my pick is going to be based on the Man United Spurs game.
Right.
Jose is facing a team he managed before. He's gonna want to win that game. We saw in the press in the past week, him and Ole threw little comments at each other, about the handballs and stuff. I'm sure Jose is gonna say something in the press conference before this game about handballs and stuff. The reason I'm gonna go bold in this game is both teams had midweek games. Yes, they rotated a little bit, but still, it has an effect because Rashford came on, Pogba came on, Kane started in the Europa League.
And Kane came on in one game. He came on.
He came on in the League Cup, and then he started in the Europa League. So, guys are not going to be at the 100% level that the managers need them to be, although there was rotation. So I think I know Ole is going to want to beat Jose, and I know Jose is going to want to beat his old team. These guys are going to fire their teams up, and I am going to predict a minimum of 4 goals in this game.
Wow,
I think
that's
it's going to be, because, Jose is known for parking the bus and, probably going for a 1-0, but I think this game is probably going to have a shootout. I think guys who own Man United assets, guys who own Spurs assets should not be scared of this game being a tightly fought battle. I think we can see goals here. So if you own Rashford, if you own Bruno, if you own Kane, maybe Mora, I would not be scared in this game. I think there's going to be some goals, and I'm going to say 4 minimum in this game. 4.
That's bold, because I'm actually looking to move Martial out of my team. I didn't see the engine running. So if you think that this game that, the engine, it could be Spurs 4 goals, 4 counter-attack goals. Yeah. But 2 teams who have seen nothing offensively, that is bold for me.
And that's why it's bold, yeah. I think this is the game they're gonna come out.
Yeah, we could leave it as that, and that's our.
No, I just want to know before we finish, what are your transfers planned for this week?
Alright, so immediately, I made the move after that ING, and I just seeing some uncertainty. I made a move to get Jamal Lewis out of my team. I was really big on him. I made the move to get him out of the team and bring in Castagna. I had extra money. I brought in Castagna, and maybe I might do a little video of this after so that people can see clearer tomorrow before the game week. But I was thinking of taking the hit because I'm not sure what's going on with Man United right now in terms of the engine, right? In terms of your attacking engine. Not sure what's going on. And same thing as Spurs, not sure what's going on. So what I know for sure is going on is where the points will be. The points will be at City. The points will be, at Liverpool's going to get points. So right now, I don't know how long this drought is going to be. Do I ride this drought and keep Martial in my team, hoping that I don't see him scoring a double against Tottenham, but hoping that he scores one? Or do I make a move to get Jimenez in there where I could see him scoring, 3 to 4 goals within the next 6 games, or maybe Jimenez or maybe Danny Ings at a 8.5, bring him in. I think he's going to score within the next 2 games and have extra money in the bank to upgrade, my 5th midfielder because I'm playing 5 midfielders, right?
Okay.
So those are the moves I'm considering right now. Any advice on the Martial? What do you think I should do with the Martial pick?
Martial to Jimenez for -4. I would do it. I said Jimenez is a must-have, so I can't say now don't do it. But I also, as you saw in my bold prediction, think the Man United game is going to have goals.
Right.
So it's a tough one.
Right. Yeah. What's going on with your team, man? Made
For
any
me,
moves yet?
I made moves. I took a hit actually. I got Timo Werner out because I gave him 3 weeks, and it was time to go.
He's home. He scored this week.
I took him out. I brought in Jimenez for Werner.
All right.
I just wanted to go with the short thing, and I made a second move, and I took Harry Kane out, and I brought in Jamie Vardy. So I went for some new firepower up front. This also puts 1.5 million in my bank.
I was thinking with that Harry Kane move, that put some the Harry Kane. No, Harry Kane was 10 as well.
He was 10.5. Vardy was 10.
All right.
So I saved 0.5 there, and then I saved 1 million with Werner to Jimenez.
Right.
So now, as I told you, I'm planning to really do a deep dive over the international break and see where I can make some changes to my team, whether it's a wild card or doing something else. I know I have some money in the bank where I can make those changes. My plan for the next game week, if I don't use the wild card, I already have in mind to do Aubameyang to KDB finally, because I still don't have KDB in my team. But I just wanted to.
So you still own Oba?
Yes, I still own Oba. He's have Sheffield. I didn't want to change him for Sheffield.
Right.
I thought it was more pertinent to remove Werner and Kane.
Right.
So I am giving Oba one last week. And yeah, those were my moves. So I'm playing a 4-3-3 this week. I can post my team on Twitter for.
Who's your team in the back? Was it back? Justin.
Justin, Jamal Lascelles, Trent, and who was the 4th guy? Can't remember the 4th guy. But yeah, Justin, Trent, Lascelles.
Mitchell?
No, wait, I'll check right now.
I feel like you.
Oh no, my 4th guy is Holding from Arsenal. Holding.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, yeah, I think Holding might be a nice pick to keep.
So yeah, I've got Holding from Arsenal, and I have 3 in midfield and 3 up top. And that's the team this week. Is just now to decide the captaincy between Vardy, Salah, and Jimenez. It's possible. And yeah, so that's me for this week.
My
I'll
captain,
probably do a post.
Yeah, I was gonna say my captain options. He's kind of it's on, Salah and KDB at the moment. I can't captain. I don't think I could captain Bruno, he hasn't shown me anything as yet. So so I think
I
that's
could
it.
be wrong, but I'm not a strong Salah captain. This week I'm not a strong, so I may go.
Hey, I said 1 goal. So unless Salah, gets that +3 points, we're looking at.
One last thing for me before we get out of here. I also wanna update. I'll put it on Twitter. Remember, guys, at FPL guys. But for our suicide competition this week, I remember we had Omar on earlier this week, and his pick is Danny Ings this week for the suicide for the guests. My pick was Jimenez, and I think you went with Mahrez.
I went with Mahrez. I doubled up.
You went with Mahrez. So you have a lot of ground to make up.
Yep.
So I'll keep updating everyone on the Twitter. Don't forget at FPL guys, at FPL_Island guys on Instagram.
And subscribe. If you're listening to this, subscribe on YouTube. We're gonna have more content. New guests next week. And
hopefully soon we start doing like a question segment if someone has questions for us.
We can look up what people's teams too. So that's something that we could do. So definitely good one, Dari, and
good luck to everybody, man.
Good luck, everybody. Yeah, man.